I start the session in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. While I am presenting, I don't see if anybody has questions. I won't see your hands up. Do feel free to write in the chat box, and every once in a while I'll check the chat box with you. The whole idea of this session is to give you an introduction on the instructor, that is myself, some expectations, an overview on the TOEFL iBT test with some tips, identifying the key element and some strategies for a successful TOEFL iBT writing, which is an introduction, followed by some practice and improved guided activity, and then I'll be talking about the homework. So who is your instructor? My name is Dr. Freba Olemi. I have a PhD in chemistry, microbiology, analytical chemistry. I am also the co-founder of Afghanistan Open University, so it is my pleasure to be with you, taking you through the writing skills, inshallah. I do have experience teaching with the TOEFL and other departments in the English for the past 2 years. In real life, I am the head of science departments here in Sydney, Australia. And I'm also by professional, I am a science teacher. I am, alhamdulillah, married with 2 wonderful boys. And your session, unfortunately, is between 2 to 3 Kabul time, which I understand is not the preferred time, but unfortunately, that is the only time that I am available. So what will happen is I will come live and I will do my session during these times. And I understand that many of the students won't be able to join, but the session will be recorded and the recording will be shared with you on Telegram. So as far as the expectations, I prefer that you have your mic muted and your camera off. This is an expectation from Afghanistan Open University to make sure that we provide you a better opportunity. And I will do my best to respect every one of you. And I expect that you pay that respect to your instructor and to the admin, to the class fellows. So this is a mutual agreement that we're going to be doing our best to be respectful towards each other. Throughout the sessions, feel free to write questions or comments in your chat box, and every once in a while, I will do my best to check. I will do all my session in English, so I will not speak any other languages, Dari and Pashto. So if you have any questions and if you want to speak in any of the other languages, I will prefer that you don't, but I can read Dari and Pashto, so if you want to write your comment in non-English, feel free to do so, but I encourage you to stick with English. I also have the expectation that you're going to be submitting your homework on time. I have allocated a special time dedicated to TOEFL students, so I will spend my Saturday morning, which is your Friday evening, to check every single submission and provide you detailed feedback. So it is you have to decide whether you want to get that feedback and submit your work on time. If you submit late, I'll probably will check, but I will not be able to be prompt with my feedback. It's also expected that you are going to be typing your homework and you're not going to be doing handwriting, taking a photo and send it to me. All of your homework must be done sent by email, so it's not going to go into Telegram the way that all other instructors are doing their homework. For mine, it's going to be typed and it's going to be sent. This, by doing so, this is going to be helping you for your official assessment too. I would really like it that you type it using Microsoft Word. If you are using anything else, please check that it's going to be, I'll be able to access it. I prefer that you don't send in PDF, but if you have to, that's okay. If attachment is something that you struggle, you may not know, it's okay to type the content, the essays as the main body of your email and share it with me. And I will provide you detailed feedback, as I mentioned before. All copy of my presentation will be shared after the sessions, because I often tend to make changes during my session, so I don't share the presentation in advance, but other files will get shared with you. For example, today I did request the assistant to share a 2-page reading, listening document. So I'm hoping that that was shared. Unfortunately, I did not get a chance to check Telegram. In future, I will do that. Overall, the structure of TOEFL iBT, so you probably have had already, this is your second sessions, maybe the third one, I'm not sure. Other instructors, teachers may have given you information, but I have double duty. One, I'm your instructor for writing. Two, I am the co-founder, so there's a little bit more pressure on me. I just wanted to give you a little bit more information that for when you're going to be, by the end of the course, when you're going to be ready to do your TOEFL assessment, the assessment is going to be having multiple sections. You have a reading section that is going to be for 35 minutes, and there are total of 20 questions. This is about a reading passage, and you are going to be then prompted with the questions that you have to complete it in that 35 minutes. So you'll have to learn. If you haven't, you will gain, inshallah, all the tips and tricks from Dr. Ahmed Khan to how to be ready for your reading assessment. Listening is going to be for 30 minutes. You're going to have a lecturer voice that you're going to listen, and that's going to be followed by 28 questions that you're going to be answering. The speaking component is 36 minutes. There's about 4 tasks which you are going to be talking, and your speaking instructor is going to talk about it in more detail, and so is the listening. My job is writing. So the writing is, there's 2 tasks, total of 29 minutes, and I will be from this week onward for 12 weeks, I will be providing you all the guidance that I can do, inshallah, to have you ready for the official assessment. And this is God's willing. So I'm just going to take a pause, and I'm going to come and see if you're okay with my so far what I've done, and I'll check in the chat box if there's any questions. Thank you very much, Ms. Rabia, for your nice welcome, and also to Ms. Murgan. So if there's no comment, I'll go back. I do speak fast. If I am talking too fast, please do prompt me in the chat, and I'll try to go a little bit Okay, so it looks like I have one hands up. If you other questions, I did miss your name. Feel free to put your mics up and talk to me. Otherwise, I'll go back, and then towards the end, I will give you opportunity to talk to me, inshallah. All right, then I'll get back to my PowerPoint. In preparation for TOEFL iBT writing, I will be providing you sample passages and the lectures. Either it's going to be as text, if I don't get access to the recording, or I will give you recording and the passages. What I will do is the days that we're going to be working on a reading passage and associated listening task, I will share those with you at least an hour or two before the session starts. That will give you an opportunity to read it, because I think it will be very difficult for you to read through the PowerPoint, just to give you a chance. So that is something. In the past, I used to allow students to, for the materials, used to say add pen and paper and pencil. But unfortunately, when you're going to be doing the officials, they are not going to be allowing you to use these items. So therefore, it's better while you are doing the course, prepare yourself for the actual assessment from week 1. So therefore, the material that you should be using is either going to be a laptop, a desktop, or even your phone. Though when you are going to be doing the official assessment, your phone will not be permitted. So you won't be able to have access unless if you're going to be doing it at home. And I don't know whether in Afghanistan you will be allowed to do the assessment from home, but outside of Afghanistan, that option is available to students. I will also provide you with TOEFL iBT writing rubrics, and I will share those ones on Telegram, or I will get our assistant to share it with you. It will be very good to use your phone or your watch or a stopwatch when you're going to be doing any of the skills, and that will prepare you. At the beginning, you may not be able to make it to the deadline or to the timer that they are saying 29 minutes doing 2 activities or 3 activities or 4 activities. If at the beginning you're going to be taking 3 hours, maybe by a couple of weeks you might be doing half of it. Inshallah, by the end of the course, you will be able to do the deadlines, and that will make you you'll be really ready for the assessment. It is my suggestion, do not please use dictionaries of Dari to English, Pashto to English, Pashto to vice versa. Try to use English to English. If you want to master this, that is the only way you will be able to do it. And throughout the lessons, you will notice that I will tell you, being an Afghan, living in a country where I'm privileged that I live in a country that I speak day and night English. So it's easier for me now. But when I arrived in Australia, it wasn't. And the very first lesson that I was given by my English teacher in high school was, do not use any other dictionary but English to English. And that was, I think, the best advice that I received. And that is why I'm telling you, is to avoid using any other dictionaries. Nowadays, alhamdulillah, everything is at the tip of our fingers with our phone. So therefore, that's going to be even easier. In regard to information for the official test day, I am going to do my best to provide you throughout the 12 weeks with you. But at the end of the day, when whichever organization you're going to be doing the official test, they are your best source of information. So check on their websites when you're doing your booking and make sure that you are going to be prepared. I've checked a couple of websites that when you are booking, if you fail with any of their requirement, you will lose your money. And for us, I think that is going to be the crucial, that it's not going to be easy for you. So therefore, save your money and make sure that you are ready as per their expectation, rules, and regulation. So this was general information on TOEFL. Now I am starting the main instructions on writing skills for the TOEFL iBT. The TOEFL iBT test writing sections will be able to check your ability to write in English in an academic settings. I mean, you're all adults. You've probably have done English in school, English in universities, at work. Some of you have had advantage of working with organization that were communicating in English, but we are talking about academic writing in here. So therefore, they're expecting you that your ideas must be in a clear, well organized way. Your writing will be in two parts. One part is the integrated writing task that is about 20 minutes. It will involve having a short reading passage, and I will provide you many opportunities to practice both ways. It will follow with a listening task. It's going to be a lecture. And then what will happen is you'll come up with the questions, and you've got 20 minutes to use academic writing to answer the question. Task number 2 is a discussion. So they're going to provide you with a 1 to 2 lines, a scenario, and they're going to ask you to provide your opinion in an online. So I will give you both of these practices. I should also tell you that I am using all my resources from variety of the TOEFL iBT website. So they are not just because I live in a country that we speak English. I'm not going to come up with my own resources. Yes, I will use my experience, I will use my knowledge, but the materials that I'm going to give you are all from TOEFL iBT. So when we are talking about academic writing, they are expecting you to make sure that you are going to be using proper paragraph structures. That is requirement of academic English, meaning you need to have an introduction or topic sentence that they are referring to this. And in this, which means that your paragraph, you need to introduce the main idea in that paragraph. Followed by this is normally in general English, we normally say introduction and body. So in the body, it might be sub paragraphs 1, 2, 3. And in each of this, once again, in each paragraph, you need to have an introductory sentence, and then you need to provide evidence for those ideas that you briefly mentioned in your topic sentence or in your main introduction. And then the final one is going to be your closing or concluding sentence. This is going to be providing a summary of what you have discussed. So hopefully we are going to be having many opportunities, but this is going to be your guide, and I will be referring to when I'm going to be giving you feedback, and I say that the structure is not, I'm talking about this, but I'll try to be specific. I don't know until I see your very first homework that what is your status, or how good you are, or how much improvement you may need. So to make a very good writing paragraphs, there are some steps in here. Number one step is you can use brainstorming. So if we're giving you a topic, for example, if the topic is about what should I say, about avoiding energy drink. So therefore, if you're going to be doing brainstorming, whatever comes into your mind about the energy drink, then you just jot down the words. Followed by that, you're going to be writing your sentences. And please try to make your sentences short. This is not that we are speaking and we're just going to go from 1 to 2 to 3 without a pause. So the same way that when we are speaking, we say something and then we have a pause. Then we go into our next sentence that we're going to be speaking. In writing, you should be doing the same thing. So punctuation is going to be very important. I think that my suggestion is make your sentences short rather than even if your sentence 2, 3, 4 related to the same topic, don't just put without punctuation or comma, blah, 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 blah. And with each of your sentences, try to give example. And finally, put your last sentence to wrap it up. Always check for grammar and spelling. And I think punctuation is going to be as part of the grammar. That's why I haven't said anything in punctuation. So here's an example. What aspires to reach your potential? So this is a very broad topic, very similar to the example that I told you of energy drink. We can write probably about easily a book, leave alone an essay. So this is a good example. And as I said, I will be sharing the presentation with you and you will be able to read it yourself. And you will see, you will know whether what I just mentioned about that, does it have an introduction? Does it have short sentences? Does it gives supporting evidence? And then finally, does it give a conclusion or not? So the next slide is a bad example of the same topic. And I would really like you to compare the two and decide why the first one is good and why the second one is bad. So obviously here I've made it easy that there are mistakes that some of them I did, some of them I didn't. So the grammar, the punctuations, I left it, but some spellings and some grammars, I try to hide it by ignoring it. That's the advantage of when you're typing, Microsoft prompts you, which you will not have that advantage when you're going to be doing the assessment. So therefore, it's you that you have to read and you have to do your proofreading in that specified time. So at your own time, you will be able to compare the two. But what I've done to make your job and our job easy through the online, I have tried to give you some examples. There are some grammar mistakes. The subjects, verb agreements, for example, everybody have, aspire me. There's also repetition. In an essay, we should not be repeating unnecessarily. The essay repeats the same idea without adding depth. Life is short. Try art. Poor vocabulary, overly simple and vague languages. Example, do the great things. We're supposed to be writing academic. Lack of clear structures. So very weak organization and transitions, just flows and doesn't um, clearly identify the structures we talked about. Unfocused ideas. It jumps between unrelated thoughts without proper development. The second part is integrated writing. As I mentioned before, this is where you're going to be given a reading article, and it will be for a specific time on the screen that you will be able to read it, followed by a question, followed also by it's reading, then a recording, and then the questions. So this time I have chosen a topic from TOEFL iBT. Current voting system are inaccurate and unreliable and should be replaced by computerized voting system. Notice this is referring to American voting. So the next two slides are tips. When you're reading, you only have 3 minutes. So you really need to look for the main idea and take notes on the key points. What will happen is you will have the reading and your writing is going to be next to you. You will be able to, as you read, you can start typing. Don't take too long. It's 3 minutes. The good thing is the reading will come again. You will have the reading on the screen. It's not going to, you don't have to memorize it. Just type your main points that you've picked up. The remaining, you'll be fine. Then the lecturers comes. But the lecturers, you only have one time. So you really need to listen. The good thing is it's always about the same topic. And it's always that the lecturer disagrees with the reading. They never agree. If they agree, they may agree only on one point. And your readings are always about 3 points. So if they agree with 1 point, 2, they will be disagreeing, or they disagree with all 3. This is where you really, as you're listening, you really need to jot down some points. This will be followed by a question. And the question will always be the same. Summarize the points in the lecture. Explain how they relate to specific points in the reading passage. So the question doesn't change. Topics change, but the question is always the same. Here, it's not about you and your opinion. Nobody cares what I think, what you think. We have to address what the question is asking. So what I've done is, on the topic of voting, the reading and the lecturers' point of view, because I was not able to access the recording, but I did get the transcript. So I have already shared it with our assistant, and it should be on Telegram. If not, I will make sure that you will have it at as soon as the lecture finishes. So this is an example of the essay. Voting systems play a vital role in functioning of democracies worldwide. However, traditional voting methods have exhibited shortcomings in terms of accuracy and reliability. In light of these issues, there is a compelling case for replacing current system with computerized voting system. So this is what I mean, that it's the essay is giving an introduction. It tells the examiner, I am talking. The essay is about writing. Then it's the body. One of the primary concerns with existing voting is the potential for human error. From voters' registration to manual voting, counting, the involvement of individual introduce opportunities for mistakes, illegible handwriting, misplaced ballots, and inaccuracies in tallying can all compromise the integrity of elections. Computerized voting system mitigates these risks by automating many processes, reducing errors. Moreover, ballot design and can influence voter intent. Poorly designed ballot can confuse voters and lead to unintentional choices. Computerized systems provide clear, user-friendly interfaces and allow voters to review and correct their choices before finalizing their ballot, ensuring accurate representation of their preferences. Quick and accurate results are accurate advantage of computerized system. Manual voting is time-consuming and can result in delaying election outcome and dispute. Computerized system tabulates voting in real time, delivering timely and dependable results that bolster confidence in the electoral process. In-home security and fraud prevention are critical consideration. Computerized system offer encryption, digital signature, and secure authorization, safeguarding the vote against tampering. Digital records make auditing and investigating irregularities more straightforward. Additionally, computerized system enhances the accessibility for individuals with disabilities, ensuring the inclusivity in electoral process. Error detection mechanism alert voters to potential ballot issues, reducing invalidated votes and legal disputes. In conclusion, adaptation of computerized voting system offers a promising solution to the inaccuracies and reliability enhanced in traditional voting method. While careful implementation is essential, this system have potential to improve the integrity of elections and restore public trust in the democratic process. The next slide is too small. You won't be able to read it from here, but this is an example of a TOEFL iBT that has been done by students. So if you look at it, they are also colored in here. So they're telling you that it shows an introduction, it shows the body, and it shows comparisons between the reading and the lecturer. So it is expected that you as a student should be writing this sort of essay. And we will do that, inshallah ta'ala, with you. So with that, I am going to stop. For your homework, I decided to give something that is going to be testing and letting me know how good you are and if I need to do anything or not. So this is a little bit more general. This is the academic writing. So this is where you're going to be writing your opinion. And you need to agree or disagree, or you could do agree and disagree. You should be doing both sides. A mother plays a vital role in taking care of the child compared to the fathers, meaning that role of the mother in bringing up of the children is more than the father. Use example to support your opinion. So if you're going to be saying in some regard you agree, in some regard you disagree, then you need to provide evidence. But what I want you to do is I want you to both sides. Don't try to take one. I think that will be the better for you. I made it very simple, so I'm saying minimum of 200 words. Make sure that you type your name. And please, if you are using emails that doesn't have nothing to do with your real name, then I will also appreciate that you type your email also for me, but full name, your first name and your last name. If you do have family name, if you don't have family name, your first name is sufficient for me. So please type it like the way I said, and you need to send it by email. So what I've done is I've provided you an email in here. So that is my email. You're going to be send it, and I also want it by latest is Friday midnight. Now listen, you guys have your writing on Wednesday. So you have time. Don't wait till Friday. While things are fresh in your mind, if you can't do it tonight, tomorrow morning, before Friday, that is for your advantage. For those of you who are working multiple jobs, this and that, deadline is Friday, please. If you want my detailed feedback, those of you who are going to be submitting late, I'm not going to say I'm not going to give you feedback. I will give you feedback, but probably I will not be as prompt, as detailed as I am with those who do submit on time with me. So I am going to take a pause, and I will come back, and I will answer questions. But what I will do is I will probably